What up, everyone? Welcome to A Love Like That podcast. I'm Brandon.
I'm Jacqueline.
Hey, yo, we're back at it once again, ready for another knockout episode.
Again.
Oh, look at you with the again.
Not again, but again.
So, no, we're ready for a knockout episode here. So, yeah, like I said, I'm Brandon. She's Jacqueline. I'm Colt. She's not, as you can tell.
Listen, I've got the heat on me a little more.
Well, yeah, you got the heat on you a little bit more than I do.
Cooler on his side.
Just a little bit though. But let me tell you something real quick before we even get started with the episode. I would like to ask, not just fellas, but let me ask people in general, because it could go either way. Does your spouse like the fan on?
Oh.
Winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
This one does. And right now, during the recording of this podcast, we are in the month of December, yes. Which means that it's Christmas time, it's holiday season, which means winter is coming or has already came already.
Georgia.
And it is cold. At the time of the recording, it is 39 degrees outside.
I'm telling you, and so we have the heat
on. Yeah, we have the heat on. We praise God for heat. We thank God for heat.
Right? We are thankful, and sometimes
I've been married to you for 12 years, hot. And without fail, the fan is on every waking moment.
Absolutely.
And so, because I love my wife, I have learned to persevere.
Bundle up.
I persevere. You know, it's a thankless job. Not just playing.
It's hot sometimes. It's hot.
No, because I've had conversations with people, and we've had conversations with people, and there's another person who's like that too, and he's like, oh yeah, I can't sleep without the fan on, or whatever the case is. I got to hear. Some people, they like to hear the sound of the fan. It's like I don't get it.
Whatever it is for you, actually.
I think it's like a down south thing. I really do.
I don't want to be hot, but then it's kind of, but
I will. This thing could get deeper, people. Check this out.
I don't want to be like, I want to be hot when I want to be hot. I want to be warm. That's the thing. I want to be warm when I need to be warm. But I do not want to be hot. And that is the difference. And so with the fan, sometimes I create a nice cool oasis for me to get under the covers and cut on my heater. So
this is what we're talking about. Now Grant, listen. Wait. Time out. Okay. We have, now you just stated that we have heat in the home. We thank God for heat in our home. This girl acts as if she's still in her college dorm with the blow dryer to heat herself as if she has nothing to keep herself warm.
Listen.
She takes it all the way back to...
Don't knock it till you try it.
And it's warm.
It's
warm. I get it. Not gonna lie to you. However, that is like the smartest, not smartest thing I've ever seen. No, because she will have the heat. She will have the blow dryer on 1,000 degrees underneath the covers, and yet and still she will have the fan on, and it's blowing super fast again, and it could be like how it is tonight, 39 degrees outside.
Exactly.
And it's just it's weird to me.
Well, listen, the fan is controlling the temperature so I don't get hot. Y'all get it? So the warmth. So the fan.
We want your opinions, people.
I just have only
we want
the
your
blow
opinions.
dryer on, then I'm gonna be hot.
Pretty much, guys. Y'all pray for your brother, because I'm over here freezing.
What I wanted in terms of my temperatures.
But the bonus is
it's the ladies in this house, because I just walked past.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And
it's warm in her room. I'll give it up for her. It's warm in her room. It's extra warm. No, because you got our son on the same thing too, though. He's like, I gotta sleep with the fan on. I'm like, oh, my child, oh, she got you too. Listen, I just can't.
Who doesn't sleep with the fan on? It's just
if it's not a hot spring day or a hot summer day, why?
Listen, because
too much. There's too much like
hot.
Right. Either who,
and I haven't even hit that point in life where.
Yeah, exactly. Lord,
you know,
I don't know. I think that actually it might
speak against that.
It might regulate you a little bit. I don't know. I could be wrong.
That's what he's thinking.
It could be wrong. Either way, pray for your boy because I'm over here cold. But anyway, at night. But the prize is that I get to turn right over and I get to lay up next to you and I stay warm to you, babe. So that is a bonus because we keep the body heat going on.
Exactly.
Anyway, we didn't come here to talk about this.
I provide the warmth.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We did not come here to talk about that, but I just had to ask that question.
Right. That was him, guys. That was him.
That was me. So now we understand that, you get hot and cold and that I'm just whatever in between. Let's get into today's topic. Well, actually, before we get into today's topic, how are you feeling? I mean, outside of, the hot and cold, how are you feeling? How has your weekend been? How is everything going?
How has my weekend been? Actually, I'm feeling good. I mean, it is I'm up and energized in the wee hours of the morning. You see this dedication, guys.
It is dedication.
Definitely dedication. My husband hasn't gone to sleep. I've had a few naps. However, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energized. It's officially a new day, so I'm always excited. I think we got some things done this weekend.
Yeah, I think we did too.
Organization and some real movement. So I am excited.
And my wife got her romantic moment.
Oh yes.
Oh, because all right. So I'm gonna tell myself real quick. Okay, your boy got caught slipping. Okay, your boy got caught slipping. I did. I kind of was like I was kind of falling back on the romance department, and so my wife, she communicated to me very effectively hey, Brandon, we know all this is great, but you just need a little bit more romance in this thing.
Right, let's just dial it up.
Quit being so caveman-ish.
In the romance,
and I'm working towards that, and we were able to make sure that we got our quality time in from a romantic standpoint, and so I was making sure that I was able to step up to the plate, and if not, then bloody hell, no, but seriously,
listen, guys.
So yeah, I took accountability on that. I said, you know what though, because it's been a lot. We've been, it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of things. Holiday season is around here is now, and sometimes, we can kind of lose track of certain things, keeping the main thing.
Yes.
I definitely try my best to do that, but obviously, and nobody's perfect. And so I appreciate the fact that my wife was able to gently remind me of, certain things and needs and wants. And so we were able to, make that time. So I'm happy we got a chance to do that though. So look, that's our praise report.
Thank you, babe. No, I appreciate that you are willing to just hear me out and move, take action in the direction. That's I was going to say best for our marriage. I was going to say best for your wife. But anyway.
Yeah, I got you.
But the total, overall aspect of our marriage, so it was, I appreciate that. And it wasn't like it was,
I get you. But no, she let your boy know, yo, Brandon, I love you and all, but let's make sure we don't lose sight on this.
Speak up. Ask for what you want.
Ask for what you want. Because the worst thing the one thing that will kill a marriage is someone who thinks that the other person is a mind reader.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing about it is, I want to have that conversation with you because you're the only person who can fix it for me.
Which is perfect because this leads into our conversation, our topic of the day. And I know, not to interrupt, but I wanted to get into this because it's, you said something that was really key. I want to have the conversation with you. You want to have the conversation with me.
Correct.
Right? Because we're the only ones who can fix it.
Correct.
which leads us to the conversation. What happens when everyone else knows but your spouse?
Yeah.
What happens when everyone else knows
Except
but your spouse?
the one person who should know, guys. The one person who should know.
Because we run into this with, different couples that we've coached. And, certain situations where, husband will say, well, I had to find out on the streets that my wife didn't like certain things that I was doing. Or, or my husband, I had to find out on the street that my husband was saying this about me, or that he was saying he was dissatisfied with this situation.
Right.
And so we run into those situations where it's good to have an outlet. It's good to have a person that you can talk to.
Right.
There is. But is there too much talking in the marriage where it becomes messy? Right. And that becomes a situation of everybody else knows except my spouse.
Oh, got you. Is there too much talking?
Yeah.
Essentially outside of the marriage?
Exactly. Like I said, we understand that we all need to have an outlet at certain times, but the main outlet needs to be your spouse.
Correct. And
but tell me your thoughts on that.
No, I mean, I agree. You definitely have to have an outlet, or you may have a few outlets, like a good group who's going to give you good sound advice.
Good soundboard, yeah.
Right. So, no, it definitely is necessary, but that doesn't exclude the person that you're in a marriage with. That's the most important person. And so sometimes, if I'm talking to one of my friends, it's more, to just, hey, guys, like, let me know, if I'm not, seeing something, or if I'm approaching this, a different way, or, it's more from I just want to double check, because I want to make sure that I'm catching all aspects. But the main person who has to know is you. And so you always will be pretty much the first person, to, hey, this is what the situation is. How can we kind of move? How can we, make
the adjustments?
Yeah. How can we move forward? Because that's if you can't put it out there, it just boils up, and then it just festers into so many other things. So when you can't have those conversations when it really matters, that starts a whole another set of issues.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so what does that say about the spouse that is talking, and what does that say about the spouse who is in the dark?
What does it say?
Because
tell me a little more.
No, and I'm saying that because, like I said, we know of there are a million different couples out there in the world, and there's always so many different stories. So, what does that say about the person who is in the dark about them that everyone else knows about your situation except for you? And then what does it say about the person who is telling the situation?
If one spouse is constantly in the dark, then clearly your significant other, your spouse, doesn't feel comfortable coming to you. And that may be because you don't hear them out. That may be because there really hasn't been any movement. Right. I've talked to several people who are just tired of being, like they've talked until they're blue in the face.
Yeah.
If the other person isn't willing to listen and acknowledge, hey, number one, you have to acknowledge that, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe, I can do a little bit better in this stage. instead of just that's not me, I don't know what you're talking about. Just we spend so much time in the
deflecting.
Right. And you can never really get to deflecting and defending. You can never get over that. So I think if a person is constantly in the dark, then I think it just says that maybe you're not approachable, or your significant other isn't comfortable in coming to you. And that may just be for disappointment, because like I just said, we talked about it, you haven't done anything about it, I've talked to a lot of people about just they feel like their significant other just pacifies them. And we had talked about that long time ago. And I was just like, don't give me real answers. Like, don't give me
give me the real. Don't just
exactly
tell
don't
me
give
something
me
just
something to pacify me. And so people pick up on that after a while. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then they don't believe you. They don't believe you. They don't believe in you. They don't believe in your relationship. It just it spirals into... It could
trickle down into something worse.
It trickles down into a lot of different things.
So, I'm going to tell on us for a minute here. I mean, when we first got... I think, first year or two that we were married, oh my gosh, it would be something. She would say something about, essentially, Brandon, I have an issue with this, or this isn't happening, or you're not doing whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I would just be like, you tripping, girl. Like that's a whole lie. That's a bald-faced lie. Like, I don't even know why you even saying that. I used to literally, I would get offended. I mean, and I get it. You're never gonna not be offended by something when someone is telling you something about yourself.
Right.
But instead of saying, you tripping, or you wrong, or get out my face, whatever the case is, I had to learn to say, why do you feel that way? What's making you feel that way? What are you seeing? Because it's to make sure that she's heard. Let's make sure that you're heard. To make sure that you understand that I'm caring about what you're saying. But also, check it out, it allows me to hear her logic and allows me to determine if her logic is really logic or if we're just having an emotional moment now.
Yeah.
And so that lets me know how I need to proceed. So I hear what she says and I'm like, okay, this is some bull. That's probably what I'm saying in my head. But you know what? I'm like, okay, you know what? Why do you what is it that you're seeing that's making you feel this way? Or what's transpired? Because I want to understand.
Right.
Want
to understand.
Because I want to understand. You have to know how to. You get more with honey than you do with vinegar. So do all of that defending and she tripping, man, she lying. It doesn't work.
Right.
Just help me to understand what is it that's going on, so I can understand, so I can know how to move forward. How can I be better? Or what has transpired that has made you feel this way? And then again, I hear her out, and I'm like, okay, does this make sense? Does it sound like this is something from a real situation, or is this, she is in one of her moods? Okay, you know what? We just have to figure out how we're gonna roll along with this,
right? The way.
And that's kind of the thing that we have to figure out there. But that's something that I had to learn early on. But it makes a difference though. Just how you receive, how you respond instead of reacting. I always talk about that all the time. We are so quick to react rather than to respond. It makes things so much different. I will say this, something that you said about the person who's in the dark, about not being trustworthy. I think that right there is really. That right there is a real critical piece, and really a detrimental piece, because that's where a breakdown, that shows that there's been a breakdown in the relationship, and now I can't trust you, like you just said. And so it's like, okay, what gives, when your spouse is too quiet? That's either a good thing or really a bad thing, when there is doesn't seem to be enough communication about the feelings of what's happening with you guys, it could be, hey, we're good, or it could be, hey, we're not so good, and you just don't know it, and normally 9 times out of 10, your partner has been giving you clues somewhere down the line. They've been saying something,
right,
and it's just really about you just making the change.
Yeah.
About that, I don't know of anybody who has just been caught off guard by something and it not be a conversation. I know the whole Jeezy and Jenny Mai thing, whatever the case is, saying that she was caught off guard by the divorce or whatever. Who knows another person's marriage, but normally there's some telltale signs when things are getting ready to happen.
Definitely, 99% of the time there may be that, rare case where somebody may come out of,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, they're letting you know there's some signs that, hey, like, I'm heading in a different direction. I was going to say, signs that ultimately I'm unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're, together and I'm constantly telling you A, B, and C, and either you're giving me just a pacified answer, but there never is any action behind it, or it's always a deflection of, I'm not doing this, or, what are you not doing?
Mm-hmm.
Just that type thing. Then it really is, the longer and longer, that you stay in that situation, it breeds resentment. Like essentially, if you're in it and you're trying to work, it's like time lost.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the thing about a lesson is, you have to learn it, like, if we're constantly...
Eventually, you
have to learn it eventually. So if we're doing the same thing over and over again, no one's ever learning the lesson. So that means no changes are being made, which means we stay in this constant cycle of disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty bad situation.
I'll say this to the men. I'm not going to talk to the women here. I'm just going to talk to the men here, to the fellas. If you are seeing a situation where something is being said repeatedly, and here's the thing, men, we know when we're just feeding answers. We really do. We know. We act like we don't, but we do. I want to ask all the fellas out there, what are you afraid that you are going to give up by actually giving your spouse what she's asking for? What are you afraid of giving up that you're going to give up?
Right.
Is it a sense of freedom? Is it a sense of you being just you as an individual? What is it? Is it you giving up, other perks outside of the marriage or outside of the relationship?
Yeah.
What is it that you're afraid that you are going to give up?
What are you afraid to lose?
Or what are you afraid that it's going to require of you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's not about what you're giving up, it's about what you have to do that's extra. They feel like it's extra,
Yeah.
There may be some things that I feel, like, oh my gosh, this is whatever, but because this is what is required of me as the husband, this is what I do. And I understand that this is not a situation. Okay. And the requests are not selfish requests from your spouse, but real honest needs are being requested. Prime example, like I said, she's like, hey, you know what? We need to have a little bit more romance going on here or whatever the case. Like, you're a romantic guy, but we just need to kind of pick up just a little bit of whatever the case is. And so, you know what? Take that on the chest and say, you know what? Okay, here it is. We're gonna revamp this, and that's what we decided to do, and that's what I made the conscious and intentional effort to want to give that to my wife.
Yes, and in that, when we had,
and in that she was happy afterwards.
I was absolutely happy afterwards. And we got to explore just a whole new. So yeah, it may have required a few more steps.
Yeah.
But I feel like in that you get to achieve new levels that you haven't achieved before.
And that's what I'm saying, so because it took the extra steps, but it takes a person being willing and open to taking the steps to get there. Because here's the thing, you can be great at something for X amount of years, and that's great, but you and your spouse are always evolving, always changing, always moving into different areas and arenas of life. And so we have to figure out ways that we can always try to stay in communication. That way we know what's going on, that way we know how to adapt and how to adjust. So I say all that to say this again. What are we afraid that we are going to lose out on, or what are we afraid that we are going to have to do that we may feel is outside of us? Because that's really what it is for guys. Like, we like consistency. We like what we like, and it's what it is. So if I want, a ham and cheese sandwich, I want that ham and cheese sandwich like that, or whatever the case is. But sometimes we have to evolve, and so that's what that is.
Put a little honey mustard on.
That's what it is. So it's that's how we have to be, and so that's just with life. Guys, we like to have our read our news articles in the morning, or whatever the case is, or watch Sports Center first thing in the morning, and then go about our day. When maybe sometimes hey, let me just check in on my wife real quick, make sure she's good, and then do that. Or for the wives, let me make sure I cook him something nice to eat, or whatever the cases are, checking on him and make sure he's good before I go about my day. Before I go to work, whatever the case is, because Jackie did that for me. You did that for me the other day. I was like, man, listen, I'm getting ready to go about my day or whatever. I know you had stuff going on as well, but she took the time to actually take extra time, I should say, to make sure I had an awesome breakfast in the morning. And I was just like, wow, I appreciate that, And so, going above and beyond, but it's about hearing what you need from your spouse, and that way, you being the person who is on the other side of that, are on the same side as your teammate, which is your other spouse. When you guys are going through those moments, you being receptive and you being open to receiving what is being said allows you guys to stay in communication, allows you guys to stay in sync. That way you don't have to worry about hearing it from Pookie and them, because they heard
from Nene,
because they've heard about what's what the main issue is,
right?
And you're completely lost because you're like, hey man, I ain't know nothing about that. No, someone,
right? Somewhere along the way, you definitely did know. You just got to be tuned in and honed in enough to really be in that just communication with your spouse.
Yeah. And that's
hear
important.
What they actually have to say.
Exactly. Everything that she just said.
Yeah. And it's not one-sided, guys, because even in that, with the, hey, we need to, or on my end, I would like to see more of the romance. And what can I do for you? How can I, step it up? Or how can I tweak A, B, and C? How can I be better?
Yeah.
In all aspects. And I think, even what's coming to my mind is when Tiffany and Frankie were on the show, and she was just saying, like, how can I be like the best
Tiffany as she can be for Frankie.
For him. Yeah. I mean, essentially, and I love it. That's 1,000%. And how can I just be better, period? Because if I'm a better wife, like, you're always sowing seeds, guys. Always sowing seeds.
Every deed is a seed.
Right. Every deed is a seed. But in that, understand, like, it's not just falling on just cement. It's being planted. So it comes back. It really is. I mean, I probably would have never thought, like, oh, this the life of service would be, but it really is so fulfilling. I mean, I definitely want to every day, hey, let's figure out how we can take it up a notch. How, what do I need to do? How can I be better? So it really is just being self-aware.
Very much, very much. And I would say, just in general, I think as, for husbands, we find that the blessings in our life come when we are taking care of our home. When we're making sure our wives are feeling seen, that they're feeling heard, that they are being seen and that they are being heard, and that we are in true partnership with each other, and that we are honoring each other. And because when we do that, then that's really when we find that the bigger blessings outside of just the marriage come into play as well. So I think that's really important. Message that I just want to share with the guys as well, and just in general with everybody, the guys, the ladies, and you'll find that the blessings come when you're honoring each other. When you're honoring each other, the blessings will truly come.
Yes.
And that's what happens. That's the reason why it's so important to take those vows seriously.
Yes.
When you decide to say I do.
Yes. That is the
it's
blessing.
Not just for talk.
In the covenant. Yes, It's not just for talk.
Exactly.
Not just for talk. Look, I think that's a great segue into... Segue! Guys, I know you guys may have seen it sitting there. It's been a minute since I've rubbed these pages, but this episode is brought to you by none other than The Marriage Bubble.
Yes.
Creating and strengthening the marriage you desire and deserve. Okay, guys?
Yes, I agree.
Get a copy for everyone you love. Everyone you love.
Yes. No, seriously.
This holiday season.
Get it for that person that that's getting ready to get married, who's already married, who's been married. It doesn't matter. Like I said, this is really this is the book that I call it's the foundational book of marriage. For people who are married or want to get married. There's already the foundational book, which obviously is the Bible. Yeah. But this is just something that we just felt that was something that we could help couples with, just speaking through our language.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just our communication skills, the way that we like to communicate with our couples, that we interact with. So that was something that was placed in our hearts to do, and so it's a great book.
Great book, setting that solid foundation. And for the ones that are already married, setting that solid foundation. Because sometimes we
are recreating that foundation again.
There we go. Recreating or setting it. Because sometimes we kind of look back at it and it was we never really actually set a solid foundation. Mm-hmm. We never had these conversations. You could have been in it 25 years and been distracted by everything else in your life. And now it's kind of like, So at whatever point, it really is a good book, guys. It's written with love, blood, sweat, and tears.
It was written with a typewriter.
All right. So anyways, let's see what we have for the people today.
I would like to let you guys know. I say this all the time, but she's really like this in real life.
Stop.
I don't know what I did.
Here we go. Understanding control versus respect.
Yeah.
Sometimes when in conflict with our spouse, we can either choose to bear down and not give up on being right, or we loosen the grip and give respect to our spouse to be their own person within the proper parameters of marriage. This is something we can speak to ... by the book.
So, you know what? That reminds me. Okay. So, Jackie loves Married at First Sight.
I do, y'all.
I don't care for none of these shows personally.
I love
it's all or nothing. Yeah. Anyway,
that's right. He's
because I sit there and watch it with her because you know, babe, watch it with me, babe.
Y'all Married at First Sight. I was late to the game.
I don't watch none of these shows.
And I actually started probably on like
Love and Marriage Huntsville,
11.
Love and Marriage Huntsville, Married at First Sight, all these different. She is big on this stuff, and I'm just like, I just want to watch the game. But anywho, there was something we were watching with, what was it, Jason, and it was season 15 or whatever.
The one we're watching now, or the last one?
The
tall guy.
Yeah, the tall guy.
Justin.
Okay. The tall guy and his new wife,
Alexis.
Okay, and this is the story. The setup is that they are being set up by matchmakers, and that they are married blindly. They get married at first sight, and then they have to figure out. They have like 8 weeks to be married and figure out if they want to continue the marriage or not. But they talk about. Justin talks about how his wife is going out all the time to the clubs with her girlfriends, and how he feels it's just not it's not what a wife should be doing, and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
he didn't necessarily say it like that, but essentially, that's essentially what it was.
Like,
and she was trying to defend it
every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. But
every weekend,
it's what we talked about in the book: the doubling down or loosening the grip to allow the person and give them the respect to be the best person that they can be and the individual that they are within parameters.
Yes, that's within parameters, guys.
And that's on both sides though. And that's on both sides though, because the respect that he's expecting for her to give him, she should. But at the same time though, it's vice versa. It's both ways. He's giving her the respect by actually, he's not sitting here like, okay, don't go out or it's over or whatever the case is. He's not giving her an ultimatum. He's like, she's going out. But at the same time, though, the respect factor comes in on both sides where it's like, what? He's this guy here and he's been, he's allowed for me to go out and it's been this and that. Maybe I just need to take a weekend. Just kind of sit and chill.
Yeah.
Definitely. Something like that. That's how you reciprocate the respect. The honoring the role in the marriage.
Yeah. No, I agree. Just because, he's a nice guy, and he's kind of rolling with it at this point, but
eventually
you have to. At some point, it's just kind of like. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's an issue, regardless of the amount of time, and she's on this whole, I don't want to be controlled, I want to be free, and all this other stuff, and it's like, I'm like, this is me 12 years into marriage.
Yeah, let's talk about it early on.
TV, like, girl, it's a little, like, girl, did you sign up to be married or not? Like, I was on Justin's side, and I would have never actually thought that at that point. But
first year, I don't think you.
Yeah, first year I would have been like, listen,
we outside.
And, but there is, it definitely is a respect factor. You have to take into consideration, what your spouse is asking for.
Yeah.
So even if it is like, hey, instead of every weekend, maybe you go to twice a month. Maybe you some type of compromise to show that you're letting your foot off the gas, somewhat, like,
because if not,
you grow further into that, further into the compromise. But there has to be,
and then eventually, what's going to happen is if there is no compromise, eventually he's going to be telling all of his friends and everybody else about his issues with you, and you're going to be left in the dark.
Because you're
because you're out on the weekends and you're going to be left in the dark trying to figure out why my man left me.
Really,
and that's what it is. She'll be the last to know.
Yeah. But because he said over and over and over again, she has to kind of be willing to. She hears him. She's just not willing to.
I hear it, but I don't respect it.
That's what's happening right now. And so.
And it's growing pains for them because.
Yeah. It's a month. And the way the show is, everything is kind of accelerated.
Yeah. It's funny because they were like, this is all that marriage is, whatever the case is,
yeah,
be
they
so
were
easy.
definitely the main ones. Oh, they said marriage is hard. I mean, maybe that's just for some people. I mean, it was a little bit too like, girl, shut up.
You have no
beginning. Clue. It was just like, you've been married for 2 days.
Oh, gosh. It was funny.
Yeah, it was. But anyways, I won't go off on a tangent on that.
They may be on our show one day. We want to play nice.
That's right, guys. Hey.
Right. Be like, have that said that about me?
Listen, friend, we can be friends, but you gotta know.
Yeah, you was bugging a little bit.
Exactly.
Love you.
Like, it's.
Yeah, it's different.
It has to be. I always say the plan and the play. So if the whole team's not okay with it, then it's got to be some changes. Period. Point blank. Now, if you're with a guy who's for it, and he's out there, y'all go y'all separate ways on the weekend. I'm not saying but
find what
everybody
works
has
for
to
you.
do what works for you. But if it's not working for him, then it's not working for y'all. Period. Point blank.
I mean, but eventually those things change though, because I think because like I said, I know we talked about this before on one of the podcasts. I was like, I didn't know how to handle you in your social life. With your girlfriends and with your line sisters. Oh my gosh, I was like, what is this? Oh my gosh, what? Like really? Another one? That's like, golly.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. Yes, thank you. Another one.
Right.
Right.
First year we were in, we talked about that story in the.
Oh gosh.
From the driveway and all of this other stuff, but
because you deserved it anyway.
And I absolutely probably did. But I think, but
it was a respect factor. There was a respect factor.
The coming back at midnight was a bit much, but however, we have grown. But yeah, growth, babe. We're here now, so. No, I was trying to think. What was it? I'm trying to figure out when it really kind of turned.
When you got pregnant, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was having 2 years going into year 2?
We were, I think, our son came along right before our second, a month before our 2-year anniversary. Yeah, so.
Got it. But I think there also was a moment when if there was an event on a Friday and a Saturday, it's like, okay, I'm going to have to pick and choose. I think in that, do you remember that? When it was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to have to sit this out. Like I can't, it wasn't every weekend thing.
Her chapter had everything. They had
back to back.
Friday night, Saturday night,
right?
Thursday night, Tuesday night.
I might be able to catch one day, and it wasn't on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it wasn't a weekly basis.
My line sisters, they were. We was.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one time I remember I was
trying to convene.
Yeah, I remember it was like 3 a.m. Actually, she had me out one night out there 3 a.m. I was like, look, babe. I was like, we got to go. We got to go. And I'm the night owl, really. But I was like, wow.
He wanted to come along, so I included him.
No, I can't. I don't remember
I don't even think he actually wanted to come.
I don't remember how that came about or whatever the case is, but I did. But anywho, yeah. Respect each other's needs, and it's not about doubling down. It's about really allowing the person to be the who they are within certain parameters of the marriage. Obviously, honor the marriage.
The marriage. Period.
That right there is the main thing, though.
That's
be
the
who
message.
you want to be, as long as it honors what the marriage is that you and your spouse have designed for it to be or desire for it to be.
Right.
That's the important piece.
Yeah.
So we hope that that message goes with you guys in love and everything else in between. But listen, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up right now. I think this was a good conversation. Just talking, about the different areas of relationships and communication and understanding. And so this is really good, and I'm glad we got a chance to do it together. Me and you with your warm heater over there, and me and my knit cap and my hoodie and vest and whatnot.
Beaming on me.
And then we're gonna go ahead and shut this down. So I can cut this off.
This shirt off.
And then doggone, she's gonna cut that fan on.
I am gonna.
She's gonna cut the fan on. And again, I'm asking for your thoughts and your prayers.
Well, now I'm not gonna cut it on.
Babe, go ahead and cut it on because I already know you're gonna want to do it. So trust me. I will make it work.
I'll make sure you get an extra blanket, babe. Oh, we're gonna go upstairs and practice our romance activities.
Thanks for watching a Love Like That podcast. I'm Brandon.
I'm Jacqueline.
Take care. Peace.